Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here. This is like one of my most favorite places to talk. Because it just feels so amazing in this location, and all of the people that come here have this really cool, heart-centered intention to light up the world. So it is one of my just favorite places to come and talk. And then I always would love to start out with gratitude. I am grateful for each and every one of you who has showed up today. As the angels and ascended masters say, thank you for showing up. And I also want to give extra thanks to Gary and all the people that run this location, from the audio people to people that do the offerings and everything. It is just such a wonderful effort that everyone puts out week after week here. So as we get started, I would like to just introduce myself a little bit for other people who haven't maybe met me yet. My name is Molly Freidenfeld, and I call myself an illuminarian. And I basically made up that word because this is my matrix. This is my life that I'm creating, so I'm making up words as I go because it feels good. And the word illuminarian, what it means to me is I illuminate the pathway for other souls to remember their wisdom and brilliance. And I tell as many and hope as many will remember that they were born to do the same. So I put the word illuminate and humanitarian together, and that's humanitarian illuminarian. That's what I go by. And every one of you that are here today, I absolutely feel in my heart that you are all the same. You are here to light up the world in your own special way, and it is now our time to shine. So it's really, really cool to see so many people stepping into their truth, stepping into their power. And this is the theme of this month, is all about stepping into your power. And every month when I come to speak here, I ask Gary, okay, what's the topic going to be? And it is always so absolutely synchronistic to everything that's going on and everything that I was planning on talking about before I even knew the theme. So I absolutely love it. A lot of the things that I'm going to talk about today is absolutely stepping into your power and connecting with your higher self-wisdom and remembering that you are a spark of the divine, and we are here to not play small. We are here to shine and be walking lighthouses and let the world see our light. We are lighting it up here, and when we light up the world, we don't connect in with fear. And anything that's going on out in the world is just an illusion of different people like connecting in with their ego and shaking it loose and letting all of that go. So when you connect in with your heart, you will see that there's always answers in front of you, and there's always endless opportunities to overcome things. And as Mr. Rogers said long time ago, look for the helpers. Look for the helpers in the world. There's many of them. And so we can be these lighthouses, these helpers in the world that help other people through their dark times. And then once they come through their darkest time, they become some of the brightest shining lights. So these are all the things that I would encourage all of you to really, really connect in with as we talk about stepping into our power. What I'd like to maybe start out with is asking all of you, what does stepping into your power look like to you? What does that feel like? What does that look like to you? Stepping into your power, what does that mean to you? And have you, Sure, go ahead.
Courageous and confident.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Freedom?
Invincibility.
Nice.
Speaking your truth.
Speaking your truth.
Contributing the best that I have contributed.
Awesome. So we have been connecting in with a lot of power. So what would it feel like and what would it look like in the world if the whole world stepped into their power instead of giving our power away to things that we feel powerless over? What if we helped us move out this invincibility, being courageous, showing people that we are free. Freedom is free. It is our choice to be free. So what if we help the world see that with our light. How can we, one heart, one light at a time, how can we change the world? And it is through this process of helping one heart, one light at a time that we make huge, big differences here. So I'd like to really talk about today on how we can become these living books. We are not these, part of these things that are in books that with pages all yellowed by time, and it's like, oh, these old greats that walked this earth thousands and thousands of years ago, they did all these things. We ourselves are the living books. We are being asked to create the stories that demand retelling. And these stories that demand retelling get created because we've added our light to the story. We've created some kind of inspirational experience that has lit somebody up, and then someone goes, oh my gosh, that was such a cool experience. I want to recreate something like that too. Or I want to put my own spin on it, but I want to do something like that. And when we don't connect in with the ego, but we connect in with the heart, we say, I would be honored if you would do something that I did similar. You can copy anything that I do, I would be honored. And add your light to it and make it even better and more cool. So these stories that we create are the books that live in the hearts of others. And these are the stories that we get to take with us when we transition to the light at the end of our time in our physical bodies. We don't take the material things, we don't take the houses and the cars and the cash, but we do in every lifetime, from my experience, we take all of the amazing things that we have created here, and we get to hold that energy within us, and we get to bring that into each lifetime, these treasures that we hold. These are the energetic treasures that no one can take from you. And one of the things that's really, really cool is when you return to your nature, when you step into your power and you return to your nature is who you are from all the moment-by-moment choices you make. So if you continue to make choices to spread goodness and light and honor and truth in the world, this then becomes your true nature. And every time you choose goodness over the opposite experience, that becomes your nature. And people know you for who you are, for who you came here to be, not the illusion of what you were told to be or what you should be. You break out of that old matrix and you become this person who's come here to shine. So I'd like to explain, or maybe just tell you a couple of my stories on how I move this out in the world and how I am stepping into my power, how every day some brilliant, amazing soul comes in front of me, or some experience that comes in front of me to present an opportunity for me to expand my consciousness, move out of an old box, and become this magical being that I've come here to be. We all are magic. We all are magic. And a lot of us have been taught the magic out of us, and it is time to remember that we are magic and we can create magic here. And so I'd like to explain some stories of what has happened in my life recently, which is really cool. So my husband and I live in Florida, and there is a park that's down the street from our house, and it has 2 lakes and a lot of walking areas and some old trees. And so I go to this park to get back into nature and to return to my nature, so I can remember I'm connected to the earth. I'm connected to the heavens. I am in my heart. And so one day after yoga class, I felt compelled to go for a walk in this park. And this is really when I was connecting a lot with really starting to connect with your higher self wisdom, honor the wisdom that comes through from your higher self, like don't discount your brilliance. So I'm walking in the park, and off in the distance there are these sandhill cranes. Now, if you have never seen a sandhill crane, they're totally cool. They're like this tall, and the males have really bright red on their faces, so they're totally cool. I love to communicate and connect and create magical encounters with animals, so I just sent this animal a beacon of love and light from my heart, and it started walking over to me. So I'm like, this is awesome. Here comes this animal. Let's do this. So One of the tools I'll give you today, if you want to create a magical encounter with an animal, is meet them in the space of peace. If your energy is all, whoa, then they're like, whoa, what's this chick all about? But if you meet them in a space of peace, so you allow yourself to just immediately visualize you're grounding your energy, you're in your heart, take a few deep breaths and calm down, and then you meet them in the space of peace and you ask, may I create a magical encounter with you? So that's what I did. And this sandhill crane came over next to me, and he said to me as he's standing up very tall, he said, do you see how I stand? Do you see how I present myself to the world? I am standing in my truth. I am a very strong bird. I know who I am, who I came here to be. And so, as I'm bringing in this wisdom from this animal, and some people, when they get information, you might just know it, or you might hear it, or you might just, obviously you feel it, or you might be getting pictures. I just get this knowing in my being, and then I also hear things. So I'm exchanging this cool encounter with this sandhill crane, and then he said, walk with me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be walking with the sandhill crane at the park. All right. So I'm walking with this crane, and people are looking at me like, there is a lady walking with a crane. Okay. I mean, it was really cool. So I'm walking, and we walked a great distance. He walked me over to the lake. And as he left me at the lake, he said, now remember, stand in your power. There is nothing to fear here. When you are connected with love, it is not a vibrational match to fear. So stand in your power. So I'm standing there, and I have all of these things in picture documentation because a lot of people go, that didn't really happen, did it? So then I go, okay, well, here. So then as I'm standing there, an alligator that was over by the bank came floating over to me, and he stopped probably from where Rich was to me, okay? And so now I'm standing on the bank, and the crane says, I shall leave you with this guardian of the lake. So I'm like, wow, this is a pretty cool experience I'm having here. Okay. So then the alligator comes up, and it stops, gives me an honorable distance, and it says, there is nothing to fear here. You honor your space, and I honor mine. Stand in your power, and there's nothing to fear. I am an ancient wisdom bearer, and people fear me because they actually are afraid of themselves and how brilliant they can be. So when you allow yourself to feel your brilliance, you aren't afraid of anything because there's nothing to fear. I mean, these are some of the words that Jesus talked about when he walked this earth. There's nothing to fear. So I had this magical encounter with this alligator, and I had that really cool exchange, and then I just sat in that space so I could feel its energy. And then he swam off, and I continued on my walk, and I had an amazing encounter. So we can have magical encounters with people, animals, anything. The element that you meet them in is peace. And another element, in order to create magical encounters like this, is patience. If you are in a hurry and you have a to-do list, a mile long, you'll miss out on these encounters because you'll be like, oh, that's a bird. Yeah, that's cool. And you keep walking. All these things happen when you honor the moment that you're in, being in the present moment. So if you allow yourself to say, I'm here in this moment, I'm going to create this magical encounter, it shall be so. So what I'd love to do for us all right now is to just have you all just feel what it feels like to be in the present moment, get all of your energy back here, and ground yourself in this space. So if you would all uncross your legs and close your eyes, and just take a couple deep breaths in. So let's breathe in, and out, and in, and out. And I want you to now place an intention. We're calling all of your energy back to you in its most purified form. I ask that everyone ask to call your energy back to your heart center now, wherever it is in all these different locations where you may be, wherever your thoughts are and your things to do, call all of your energy back to you. Feel yourself sitting in this chair here. Honor this time that you have set aside to be completely present in the moment, in this space here, with all of these amazing light workers that are in this room. Feel the peace that is in you. It comes from nowhere else but within you. Peace is always inside. The joy is always within you. You can have peace and joy regardless of what anyone else in the world is creating, because you are your own universe. You are your own universe. Everyone else has their own universe. You're creating in your own world and you're collaborating with others, but you can create peace and joy and experiences of unconditional love and magic. So just feel that. Feel that truth of you. Feel the light in your heart. Whether you feel it, see it, know it, just imagine you're turning that up now as bright as the sun. So you have a sun in your chest. Turn it up as the brightest star you've ever seen. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And may we all stand up, everyone who can stand, and turn to someone you don't know, and look them in the eye and tell them, I see the light in you, and allow that person to tell each person. So each person says that to each other. Okay, let's do this. Thank you for doing that. And when you can do that for other people, when you can really, practice makes the master, they say. When you can practice that and you can see through the illusion of the exterior that we all have on, what we're reflecting out to the world, but when you can see into someone's eyes, which are the windows of their soul, and you can say, I see the light in you. What you're basically also saying, because they are a reflector, they are a mirror, is I see the light in myself. I see that God lives in you. I see that God lives in me. We are all mirrors. So these animals and other people and nature, they're all mirroring back to us what we're reflecting out. So if you reflect out love and peace and joy to the world, you will be amazed at how the mirror reflects that right back to you. And here is the practice of the master. When you are really walking and stepping into your power and you're connected with your higher self wisdom and your higher self, so it's a clear column of light, you're allowing this wisdom to flow in, you're getting wisdom, you're not discounting it or discrediting it, you're like, this is who I am, who I came here to be, then you are really able, even when people in the world are reflecting out where someone might say, that's absolute madness, you can still see the light in that person. Or when they're reflecting out sadness or utter desperation or despair, you can come across them and be the lighthouse, the walking beacon of light, and you can say, I see you, I see the light in you, please remember, you came here to shine too. When you can do that for other people, you create an unlocking in the heart There is a vibration that goes off when we are able to, with love, exchange love to someone else. You can unlock the heart of another. And some of the souls that are creating the most pain in the world become the biggest reflectors of light. And you can be a part of helping peace in your world and across the earth in all sorts of different ways. So it's really, really cool. I want to give you an example of how everything is a mirror and how we are really creating magic in our own little matrices. So in Florida, I do intuitive fairs. I do little fairy fairs and all sorts of fun intuitive reading festivals and things. And friends of ours, we got together last month, and we had a great time, and after the long day, we went to this restaurant down the street from where we met for the fair, and we were going to all meet for dinner. So we were all sitting at this long table, and I said, I'm going to go in and wash my hands, before I order and all that kind of stuff. So I went into the restroom, and it's a relatively small place, so it was a one-stall, bathroom kind of thing. And when I walked in the bathroom, something caught my eye, and I'm like, what the heck is that? So there's a gecko. It was like a golden gecko, and it was on the wall in the bathroom. So I'm like, little buddy, how'd you get in here? What's going on? And I'm like, oh, that's right, get calm. So I'm like, So I just took a few moments to get calm because I was like, I was way up here. So I got my energy stabilized, and then I said, little buddy, what are you doing in here? No, just kidding. But I did say that in a more calm way. So it really was a really small bathroom, okay? There's like a little wastebasket over by the sink, and it was like an open wastebasket thing. So I'm thinking, now number one, how do you get in here? And how am I going to help this little guy get out? And I can talk to anything. You can talk to any animal, anywhere, or any creature. Anything that has a consciousness, you can communicate with it. So I said, would you like me to collaborate with you to get you out of this small, confined space? And I heard back a yes. So I said, okay, you're going to have to trust me. We have to collaborate on this in order for me to get you out of here. You're going to have to trust me. So I just got calm, and I said, I am a person of my word. I am the same person, whether I'm in front of a lot of people, no people, an animal, nobody. I am the same person. I'm a person of integrity and honor. So when I tell you something, I guarantee you 100% I will get you out of here. So I sat in this place of patience, because if you're in a hurry, that revs up your vibration, revs up your energy, and they're not going to be able to connect in with you and trust you. So I said, I have all the time in the world. Even though my friends might think there's something going on here in the bathroom, I got all the time in the world. So all of a sudden, the little gecko went up to the ceiling level, and it went right over the wastebasket. And then I heard in my head the Tom Petty song, Free Fallin'. It was like, free fallin', and the gecko went, blah, and it went right into the wastebasket, you guys. I'm not kidding. I was like, what just happened? That's awesome. I mean, it belly flopped into the wastebasket. So I looked down in the wastebasket, and it's got all these paper towels and all that stuff in there. I'm like, little buddy. Now I can bring my energy up because he's in there. So I'm like, little buddy, that's awesome. And he was looking up. Now remember, you said you'd get me out of here, right? So I'm like, I will. So here I come out of the bathroom, right? Past the whole table with all my friends. And they're like, okay, Molly, are you working here now? What's going on? Why are you taking out the garbage? I'm like, there's a gecko in here. I'm just getting him outside. So I let him out, and I put him down by this little tree, and he scurried off, and there he went. And there was another really cool magical encounter, right? But, like they say on TV, that's not all. So a couple days later, I'm on a walk with my friend, and I'm processing this. I was telling her the story. I'm like, this is so cool, what happened and everything. And I'm talking to her about our higher self-wisdom and how we're working on getting ourselves out of boxes and how we're collaborating with everyone and everything. And I realized that gecko was basically just me. Do you see? I was just helping myself get out of another matrix or box of an old world thinking. We are all sparks of the divine, which means we are all one, which means everyone that we come across is a part of us. When you can see the bigger picture, the bigger part, that we're all connected to everything and everything is mirroring something, then we're all assisting and helping each other. So if I would have gone into that bathroom and said, oh, that's just a gecko, big deal, there's 1,000 of them down here, no big deal, would I have been discounting my own brilliance because I would have missed out on creating a magical encounter? So there's all sorts of amazing symbolism and metaphors that are created when you are collaborating with the universe. And when you're stepping into your higher self wisdom, stepping into your power, then you are really creating these magical encounters. So what does it look like when you aren't stepping into your power? Like, take a moment and just feel that out. Think about that. Do you miss out on opportunities that get provided in front of you, as a gift that you just say you discount? Like, oh, I don't deserve that, or oh, not at this time. Are you angry? Are you fearful? Are you resentful of things? Is that how it shows up when you do not step into your power? Like, if you allow yourself to see how that shows up in your life, then you can out the ego when it wants to undermine your divinity. So if you really, really start having conversations with yourself, you really bring in and connect with your higher self-wisdom, and you really create magical encounters, because when your ego is stepping in and you're like, ooh, no, I came here to shine. I didn't come here to play small. I'm getting out of that small little bathroom. I'm getting out of that small little box. I'm creating a bigger universe here. So you allow yourself to expand and create even more magic. I want to tell another story about how this looks, how I walk this out into the world, and it can happen anywhere at any time. So you don't have to be in a restaurant with a gecko, okay? In case there are no geckos up here. It's cold in the winter. I went to the post office, and I walk in the door, and there's a long line. So immediately, someone who may be connecting in with the complaining energy, which is on the fear vibration, because it's not on the love vibration. Anything that's contracting our energy is we're just connecting in with some kind of fear. Oh, this is going to take forever. I'm not going to be able to get what I'm going to do, or oh, these people don't know what they're doing. That's all fear, so you're really contracting your energy. When you're expanding your energy and you're connected with your higher self-wisdom, you immediately find that you have endless opportunities in front of you at every time, in every example, every moment. So immediately I was like, hey, I got a great idea. I'll just catch up on some of my emails on my phone. No big deal. I'll just stand in line and shine. I'm in a good mood. This is awesome. Which, by the way, I really work on, because it's a moment-by-moment choice of being in a good mood pretty much all the time. I really, really work on that. And the reason is because I love being happy. I do not dig being unhappy and mad and sad. I don't. And I don't know if you guys, have you ever had a friend where you go, oh, my friend Jan, I can't wait to see her. She's so mad and angry and resentful. I'm going to spend the whole day with her. It's going to be awesome. I don't know anybody who's like, let's go spend the day with Jan. She's resentful, But people like to be around happy people. They just do. So I like to be happy. And that's why I like to be around myself, because I'm working in my own universe, So I'm standing in line in my own little universe, and everybody else is standing in line in their own little universe, and I hear huffing and puffing all around me, I'm like, wow, there's dragons in here and stuff like that, But they're like, and I'm like checking my emails and all that, and then all of a sudden I hear one of the teller guys, behind the post office counter. I don't know what they call them. What are they? Clerk, thank you. Thanks, Ella. Ella gives me the information if I ever get off track, so Ella, focus. So the clerk is like, oh man, these computers are slow. And you know what? I think it's going down. And then the next clerk connects into that vibration, right? Because it really is whatever you plug into. So then the next clerk's like, you know what happened the last time the computers went down? They didn't come up for a long time. I'm like, pull out a tool, Molly, stay in the joy, keep the vibration up in here. So I got out my earphones, and I put them in, and I pulled up the song by Pharrell Williams called Happy. Do you guys know that song? I turn it on, put my earplugs in, and I'm like, I'm happy. So I'm sitting there going like this, you know, and I'm like, joy, it's happy, we're raising the vibration in here, everything is awesome. And the guy goes, hey, the computers are back up. So you can connect in, and everybody has the collective, we're lowering the vibration here. Or you can go, not in my matrix, we're keeping it up here, everything's awesome. So when you say everything is awesome, that's a really good tool to keep everything really higher vibrational. Or inside your head, you can go, I'm getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. We're going to try that right now. You guys just try it. Just humor me. Just sit there in your mind, this is like telepathy, and everybody go, and it really helps when you raise your finger too, like that. See? Ruby? Ha! Ruby knows. That's awesome. Telling you, Ruby, you're right. Right on, sister. So that's a really great way to keep the energy up, okay? So I get up to the front of the line, and before my turn, I'm waiting for the guy to say, okay, ma'am, you can come forward and everything because the computers are back up and everything's awesome. I look behind me, and there's a woman, and she's putting a bunch of hair, like all these ponytails, into a package. And she's getting ready to ship it. So I look behind her because I had a few moments, and I said, gosh, did you guys donate this hair? And she goes, yeah, we're shipping it. My daughters and I have been growing our hair for years, and now we're going to donate it to one of these organizations. You know, my grandmother transitioned due to cancer, and so this is one of the ways that we honor her. And I said, would you allow me to pay for your shipping? Would you allow me, as just an extension of, gosh, this is just such a cool thing that you're doing for somebody else, would you allow me to pay for your shipping? And she said, oh, no, I can't have you do that. No, I can't have you pay for my shipping. I'm like, okay, because I wanted to honor her answer, right? But I breathed in and I just waited, because sometimes people say something and they're used to holding back love. So she's used to giving it out. She's giving it out, but to create a sacred cycle is also about receiving it. And I've been working a lot with that. Keep the cycle going. Give it out, bring it back in. Give it out. If we only give out love, then we're not allowing that cycle to return. Then we're also not allowing someone to be blessed by giving unconditionally, right? So I asked one more time, I said, I would love to be able to pay for that postage. It would really be an honor for me. And she goes, no, I really can't have you do that. I really can't. And I said, would you then allow me to let you go in front of me in line? Would that be okay? And she goes, okay, yeah, I'll do that. So at least that was still a way of her to receive love. She allowed herself to love herself, to stand up at the counter. So after she finished with her transaction, I carried these little angel tokens in my purse. And I got an angel token out for her and her daughters, and I said, would you allow me to gift these to you? Because you are earthly angels here making a difference. Would you allow me to give these to you as a token of my appreciation for the light that you're bringing forth here? And she allowed that to go in too. So we can create these magical experiences. We can stand in a line and complain, and then we miss out on creating a magical experience with others. Or we can just shine, and then you see everything like, oh, my job here is to just shine and raise the vibration in this location, and then have a communication with these cool ladies here, right? And then when I noticed too, when we finished our transaction, the conversation between me and this woman, the people in the line were all watching us too. So people watch. They see what you're doing. Even if you don't think anybody's watching, the universe is watching. Your higher self is watching. We're all guiding each other. And if you add light to something, you're going to feel awesome and amazing. That's just how it works. If you choose to have the opposite experience, where you're closing down your light or contracting your light, or you don't want to feel your light, that is okay if that's the experience you want to create. But I think we've all had way enough of those experiences. So I think we're all at this point now, collectively, many of us light workers, where we're like, we're here to shine. We're here to shine. So that's another way that you can move love and light out into the world and really, really make a big positive difference. Another way that you can do it without even saying anything, but just maybe putting something on your car or having, a website that's full of light or whatever. You can do this in so many different ways. Whatever project or product or whatever you want that has your personal signature stamp of love on it, you will make a difference that way. How many of you have been receiving the same themed message about the call to action? It is time to get going on doing what you came here to do. How many? Are you getting it when you wake up in the morning? Like right when you wake up? Are you getting it throughout the day? It's like it's bombarding us. Remember, this isn't about learning all this over again. It's about remembering. We all are brilliant, wise souls. And the remembering is to stay connected to your higher self wisdom, which means then you're walking your power out in the world, which means people know who you are when you walk into the room. They know who you are and who you came here to be. Things also are coming around full circle, which means things that happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago now are like all making sense. All the dots are connecting, and now at this point in your life, you're like, whoa, this makes sense. I did this all these years ago. I did this job or I did this thing, and now I totally understand why I did that. 15 years ago, I had this idea. This is before I even woke up to all this stuff. I had this idea. I'm going to make magnets, and I'm going to have them so people can put them on their car and light the roadway up when they drive, and just help make people happy, these joyful magnets and everything. Then I let it go. I didn't follow all of it through all the way, and I just let it go. Well, now it has come around full circle all these years later, and I create these simple car magnets. Instead of bumper stickers that you can't take off your car, they're magnets. And they have inspirational messages. And one of them that I created has a message that says, focus on love, shine the light, and change the world. And that's all it says, and you can put it on the back of your car. So I had it on the back of my car. And I get out of yoga class, I'm walking to my car, and there's an elderly man standing reading my bumper. And right as I get there, and he says, shine the light. And he looked at me, he's like, young lady, is this your car? And I said, well, first of all, thanks for calling me young lady. Second, and then it was like, second, yes, it is my car. And he said, in the most serious way, which was so cool, he said, well, I'm going to tell you how I shine my light, young lady. I'm like, second, thanks for calling me that again. Continue. He said, I just moved into a senior living facility with my wife, and everyone there is so sad. They are so sad. He said, but you know what I do? I smile at everyone, and I smile until I get to them. I smile until I get them to smile back, and they do. And he said, and then there's older ladies there, and a lot of them have their husbands have transitioned, okay? And they're really sad. And he said, but do you know what I do? And he paused for a really long time. And I said, I think you're going to tell me. And he said, I kiss them on the forehead. And they start crying, and then I give them a hug, and I let them know that they're loved. And that is how I shine my light in the world, young lady. And I said, thank you for making a difference here. Thank you. It's very beautiful. Now, if I was rushing to my car, I would not have had the conversation with that man. I would have blown past him, right? Yeah, he's reading my car, get in your car. I give myself extra time where I go, everywhere I go, because it is in these moments that you change the world. My husband sometimes gets a little, thinks I take too much time. Because when we go to the airport, I love to give myself a lot of time at the airport. There are a lot of people that are frenetic and worried about flying, or am I going to make it here on time, or what about this, or what about that? And people don't know a lot of times what the light workers are doing. We're holding this space. We're sending people love. I'm sending out beacons. Does anyone, here need a little extra light? And I send people light. Sometimes I have conversations with people or assist people. You will know exactly where you're meant to be. But if you give yourself a little bit of extra time, this is where you shine, because it is in the stillness and silence where most of the miracles occur, not in the noise and the busyness. So give yourselves time to shine. Give yourselves time to light up the world, and you will light up your own world. When you have awakened to the bigger purpose, and you allow yourself to give unconditionally, you heal your heart. It's not about, she's doing stuff for everybody else, she doesn't do anything for herself. Through this journey of me finding ways to spread goodness and light in the world, I have healed my heart through so many things. I have found my power. I have remembered that I came here to shine. It is through these experiences with other souls and animals and nature that you find who you are. So give yourself the gift of giving yourself the time to love yourself and do the things that light you up. The last couple of things I'd like to say is joy and depression or sadness or prolonged grief cannot exist in the same experience. They are not a vibrational match. So if you want to experience happiness or joy, laugh a lot, laugh more. Laugh just because. They are not a match to each other. And the more that you raise your vibration and work on your consciousness and work on being awakened consciousness in motion on earth, the souls that are not a vibrational match to you, you will vibrate out of each other's space. Those souls that are a high vibrational match will come together. The ones that are not, they will all create their own experiences. As you are seeing, if any people watch the news, this is what you are seeing in the world. The things that are going on in the news are not affecting me because they are not in the matrix I'm creating. I am focusing on love and peace. So watching violence on television is not a vibrational match to the intention and the focus that I have in my world and in my matrix. It is not a match. So you must make your choices. Peace or chaos. You can connect into the illusion of you've got to know about all the chaos going on in the world in order to know. Have any of you gone over to any of these locations and done anything with that, or are you just holding all of this anger, fright, fear, all of that in your being? Is it doing you any good? So I ask you, as you light workers are, let it all go and be the light. Because if we are all becoming these awakened masters, practicing mastery, being the pillar of peace and light during chaos, we are changing the world. That's how we change the world. And people see what we're doing, and they go out and do the same. I would love for you all now, as we end, to stand up one more time and turn to someone new and light up your heart and say, I see the light in you. I see the light in you. And connect with you. So thank you so much, everybody. Okay, let's all just light up our hearts and fill your heart with gratitude. Fill it up with gratitude. Think of a thought of something that's you're so grateful for. Maybe it's the lungs that are allowing you to breathe right now, or the legs that are allowing you to stand with us in the circle, or the eyes that are allowing you to see the beauty that surrounds you. Fill your heart up with this gratitude of everything that is in front of you, that is here for you. All these beautiful souls that are here, that are spreading this light in the world just like you. all these souls that are awakening to the bigger picture that love is here to stay. And we say, we are grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And all God's people said, Amen.